There's always that one person at work. They don't join office gossip. At networking events, they stand in the corner quietly sipping their coffee. In meetings, they only speak when they truly have something meaningful to say. Most people assume they're unambitious or shy, but behind that silence, there is a far more complex operating system running than most people could ever imagine. If you are the person who quietly does their job and returns to their desk without waiting for applause, today we're going on a journey where you'll see yourself much more clearly. Because science suggests that your invisibility is actually a rare form of power. Many people know that extroverts tend to feed off social validation and noise. When they receive praise or achieve success, their brains almost begin a dopamine parade. But your brain works differently. For those who work quietly, the nervous system is often rewarded with acetylcholine instead. Acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter that activates during deep focus, introspection, and solitary problem solving. While the outside world shouts, "Look at me!" your prefrontal cortex, the brain's center for planning and complex thinking, composes a symphony in silence. Even when you appear to be doing nothing, your mind may be connecting dots, analyzing risks, and recognizing patterns others completely miss. So where does this quiet power come from? Research often points toward Gen X and Xennials. If you were one of the latchkey kids, the ones who carried a key around their neck, you know what it means to come home to an empty house at a young age, with no one supervising you. That experience taught you two things. First, you don't need someone else's approval to get things done. Second, actions have direct consequences. Your quiet presence at work is rooted in that deep self-sufficiency. You don't need a title or constant certificates of appreciation. Your loyalty is not to external authority, it's to the integrity of your own competence. In a world where being visible can mean being vulnerable, you learned early that silence can be a safe harbor. People who work quietly often have high perceptual sensitivity. Psychologically speaking, we could call this being an emotional Wi-Fi router. When you enter a room, you can sense within seconds who's tense with whom, who is wearing a mask, or where a project might collapse. As a child, you may have had to read the room. Noticing the slightest shift in a parent's mood might have been a survival strategy. Today, in the workplace, that has transformed into a superpower. You don't participate in office drama, but you know the entire emotional map of the office. Yes, this hypervigilance can be exhausting, but it also makes you the person with the highest emotional intelligence in the room. You find wearing a mask and performing a role as meaningless as chewing cardboard, so instead of spending energy on performance, you invest it directly into the essence of the work itself. Modern work culture constantly tries to trap us in an external validation machine, likes, promotions, LinkedIn praise, but quiet workers tend to have an internal locus of control. You measure success not by what others say, but how well the work was actually done. In Japan, there's a beautiful word for this, hitori. It doesn't mean escaping loneliness, it means celebrating the wholeness that solitude offers. Your invisibility at work is not avoidance, it is liberation. Just as some people refuse to participate in the perfect life performance on social media, you refuse to perform the role of the perfect employee because you understand something important. The loudest rooms are often the emptiest, and the deepest truths brew in silence. If this video reminded you of yourself, remember this: your silence does not mean your absence. You are the invisible engine room keeping the ship moving through a storm. The world may be obsessed with noise, but you are committed to depth. Are you someone who chooses to be a quiet power at work, or do you think this silence comes with a cost? Share your experience in the comments, because your voice, even if it's a whisper, is incredibly valuable. And if you don't want to miss more videos where we simplify psychological depth like this, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next deep dive.